Upstairs, the hall, the third floor, is that pretty much booked all year?
Yeah, we have 25 weddings this year.
I was going to say
24 or 25, and so Saturdays in the fall, especially, I think we have 13 out of 14 consecutive weekends are booked.
Really?
Yeah, but it becomes a grind at some point. But yeah, I mean, we have a team that can refresh themselves and give people a great experience the following week. Yeah.
And I commend you guys. When you mentioned your team, I was thinking about on the way up here, you see the same faces in there as we did when you guys first started opening up. I mean, I don't like, I kind of look at it as like almost like the heads of entertainment. When I look at the hall, I see like the musicians and the comedians, they're all still there. And I just commend you for that, like making this atmosphere, this world, and like, you know, just like, I don't know how else to say, this world building that you've done.
We all have fun together. I mean, straight up, we're just kind of like a family, and we hang out. Even on our days off, we're like, you want to go kayaking? You want to go do something? Whatever.
Really?
After work, yeah.
There's times when there's just the radio silence in the group text.
Oh, really?
There's super busy weekends. We've all been there. Need a break. Yeah, sure.
When people need some time for themselves.
Yeah.
That's the tricky part is when you work together and you play together and all that, obviously it deepens the relationships, but at the same time, you know, it can consume you because work is play, play is work, and so you have to be careful. You have to step off the hamster wheel.
And it's not like it's consistent work, but it's not consistent in like every wedding's going to be different. Every band that you bring in is going to be different. The booking, the contracts, like the sound, the production. And my brother's chef out the farm in Mount Pleasant, and I help out every once in a while with their weddings. And it's just, you can never, everything is completely different. The menus, like the bridezillas, the parents of those bridezillas, I mean, I couldn't imagine.
Every wedding is totally different, and the atmosphere of every family, you know, some are super fun. We did a bar mitzvah not that long ago, and it was the coolest thing ever. It was so fun. But also, like, with that, we are in the location where we are, where like everything that happens in the city affects us too. So that has a huge effect on if we're having a show, or is there a Nailers game too, or a show at the Capitol, and just like you said, just every day is different.
Now, do you guys usually try to accommodate what's going on in like the city? I know, like, say like 9 Inch Nails? They came into the Civic Center, and you guys, was it a metal night you guys had? So do you usually try to look out like what's coming up to almost get a theme? Because I know the Capitol did almost like a Rocky Horror Picture Show the same night. It was kind of cool. The city almost had that.
You're touching on exactly how the relationship with Kyle Knox started. So Kyle was at West Banco, and Dropkick Murphys were at at West Banco Arena. So Kyle was the marketing manager for both the Capitol and West Banco. Okay. So he reached out to us and he said, "Hey, would you guys want to do like a pre-show at Waterfront Hall before the Dropkick Murphys show at West Banco? We'll help with the cost of this, and we'll kind of push people that direction with our marketing." And that it was Bastard Bearded Irishman. Okay. And that resulted in the best day we've ever had, and that was in our first 9 months or so. So it was just pandemonium all day long. And so those partnerships with the arena, the Capitol, the Nailers, that's like everything to us. And if you look at our master calendar that we keep, like our Google Master Calendar, it's just full of community events, and we're trying to keep tabs on everything. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, from a musician standpoint, because it's always asked to me when people come in, what do you look for when you book? If an artist was going to message you guys and, you know, say, I'm interested, do you look for a press kit? Are you looking at their, let's say, Instagram for their follower count? What do you look for when you're trying to put people in their schedule?
There's probably a few different things. I mean, first of all, is it something that aligns with our values, or like kind of our artistic values, and like what we're looking for? That does it fit with us? Secondly, like, can they bring a crowd? And sometimes it's like they probably won't bring a crowd, but they're so awesome. Let's have them in here anyways. And then
I'll jump in and say we're limited by we're often limited by our own calendar first. Which
Yeah,
what I mean
yeah.
by that is like we have 2 restaurants, we have weddings often happening on the 3rd floor that have opinions about what's going on the 1st
Right,
floor.
right.
And we have a spa upstairs that may be having a massage at 7
Mhm.
p.m. sound check. So
Yeah,
there's just like so much nuance and so much to keep track of that the first filter that a lot of these bands pass through is, does that make sense for that night within our building and within the community?
right.
And that filters out a lot of things that I wish we could say yes to that we don't. And we've learned to become a little more selective. In our first year, we probably had 80 shows, first 12 months.
Yeah.
And then we backed off a little bit,
Yeah.
just because we thought. So actually, Rachel, do you want to tell them about the Ask to Cash spreadsheet?
Yeah, so we have a spreadsheet called the Ask to Cash.
I thought you said Ash or Cash. I'm like, what? How you paying out of
Ask or cash, you gotta pay somehow. We all gotta eat. So I'm sorry, but Tim McCormick actually mentioned this, and he was like, "You got to think about your Ask to Cash ratio." So I have a whole spreadsheet which just has like the total number of attendees, what we sold pre-sale, what we sold at the door, what the cost of production was, how much we paid the band. But I did also want to mention that we've been working with promoters this year, such as Kyle of Outland Presents and Logan Schmidt, who they have great connections with artists, and they've been in the industry for a good while. So they bring a sense of professionalism, I guess, what we're doing.
Yeah. Our operations have improved drastically since Kyle showed up, and Logan's so connected as an artist who makes a lot of posters for people. He's I think Logan has like 28,000 followers on his Instagram page where he shows his work. So he's so well connected. So they both have a different approach, but they've been actually working together, and like I feel us all getting better at how to run a music venue, because we did this out of thin air, and we screwed a lot of things up along the way. But I feel like with Kyle's expertise and with Logan offering his perspective, and Rachel just doing it now 160 170 times, that we've honed in kind of like how to make this work in a 140 cap room. But like, so we belong to NEVA, the National Independent Venue Association. We've been to a conference or two, and 60% of independent live music venues are losing money. So this thing, and Kyle can tell you as a promoter, this thing is not, you're not going to make millions in this business. It's more like for love of the game. And for us, the music is a loss leader financially, and a habit that we have that we want to keep going. So
sometimes it feels like the weddings and the other tenants and everything else we do in the building is just fueling our music addiction. That's all. Our live music thing we're trying to do.
So a lot of questions I'll get when people see these shows at the Waterfront Hall. When you see something like, I know Splash Band will do like a pop punk night where it's a bill of acts. Do you guys handle that sort of lineup, or is that handled by the person throwing the show? Do you know what I mean?
It can go either way.
Either way.
Sometimes, like in the past, I've tried to line up a few bands for a night. But usually working with Splash Panel and Doug Richardson, he always has a plan. He knows what he's going to do. He's got his lineup ready to go. So it just kind of goes back to every show is different, and working with, different people.
We love bands, and we'll always work with bands who are going to self-promote.
That's huge.
Taking that off of our shoulders, off of Maddie Butler's shoulders, Morgan Hamilton's, Rachel Krems' shoulders, and taking it off the promoters' shoulders, like those are the artists that we're always going to want to work with, because if they can sell 40 of the 140 tickets, we're in business. If they sell 8, we're going to struggle. And so that's really the key is like, do we have, and to Doug's credit, like he's an animal on Facebook. Like, he knows how to market things.
Technical animal. The couple weeks before he did his last show, I know that he was working on this light show. So he was trying to get all these lights to work together on his laptop, trying to make sure everything worked in timing. The show, it's all a production mindset with him, not just music. It was nice to see.
Yeah, he puts on a show.
Yeah.
And then there's just artists we all collectively have a crush on, like Adrian Niles.
Yeah. The whole city of Wheeling has. So
yeah. And so you just have Adrian back because it's Adrian.
So what has been your favorite thing? Who's been your favorite you guys have brought in so far?
I gotta say, for me, it was Red Meat Conspiracy. They were these guys. They're a Jamtronica cow band. They all dress up in cow outfits, and they get up there, they jam. They're young, they're fresh, they're sexy, they're cool, they're awesome. And I was like 8 months pregnant at the time, and I was on the dance floor dancing. I mean, they were my favorite so far.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think recently it's been the local Honeys.
Okay, that was real recent, wasn't it?
Yeah. Out of Kentucky. We sold the show out, and it was just a great environment for the city. Hearing those fans singing songs back that were original songs was just a great night.
Yeah.
We've done some stuff with Bucket of Puppies that I've loved.
Right.
So the jam stuff, I'm always going to lean in that direction. We have something jam adjacent this Friday, actually, July 10th. East Nash Grass.
The July 10th, yeah.
July 10th. So there's a bluegrass band that's well regarded that's coming on Friday, and we're excited about them. So I like the jam stuff, the grass stuff that we've done in the past, and ultimately, like, I'm happy when the shows have reached a ticket count where we can pay everybody.
Yeah, that's nice.
Those are my favorite.
That's very nice.
Irrespective of the genre or whatever.
Yeah. So. I'll tell you what, when we played down there, the 2x4 acoustic karaoke, absolute blast. One of my favorite venues we played there because all the employees sang too. Like Mikey came up and sang, Kaden came up and sang. That was perfect. And that's what you need for an act like ours to like get going. You need a couple people just to be able to get up that aren't regulars. And then it kind of was like a chain effect. We had 14-year-old kid rapping Eminem. It was perfect. Now this is a Halloween show too.
Splish Splash. This episode of 10 String Tavern is brought to you by Groundbreakers Pool and Spa. Groundbreakers Pool and Spa is serving the Ohio Valley and everything they need from getting an area in their backyard to the perfect summer oasis. They do everything from digging out the footer, building the retaining wall, decking, drainage, installing the pool itself with liners, and I'm talking in-ground and above-ground pools. They'll also do seasonal opening and closing and maintenance too. Get a hold of them today at 1-304-639-8161. That's 1-304-639-8161, and check them out on Facebook at Groundbreakers.
Let's get to Bluesfest. Let's get to Blues. So you guys weren't really heading it last year. You were kind of like shadowing, taking it all in. What did you guys kind of like take in from last year? Are you changing up anything? What's your views for this coming one, which is second weekend in August, the 7th through the 9th, right? Yep.
What I noticed is that there's a loyal fan base in place and I kind of knew that, but there's, I paid closer attention to, the loyalists of the festival. And ultimately we have this really delicate thing we're trying to do, which is to keep all of those loyalists real happy and in fact deliver an even better lineup than last year.
Yeah.
And create a better experience for them. And at the same time, present something to a new audience, people under the age of 40, for example. Yeah. And not only that, but also people who enjoy other genres. So we're walking a tightrope. There's one section of the audience that if you step outside of the blues genre, they're gonna get fired up on Facebook and they're gonna make some negative comments. And then there's a group that is on the sidelines that's unmotivated to come to a festival that's traditionally been the blues.
Right.
Well, how do we make these groups both happy at the same time?
Yeah.
And so that's the task we're faced with. And so far, I think one of the major reasons why the ticket sales are up, the things appears to be working, is because of the wonderful marketing and team that we have. So between Morgan, Kyle, Rachel, Shay, the people that are working on this on a weekly basis, like we've tried to toe the line of doing something that's youthful and also doing something that is so well done that even the loyalists like it. But so I knew at the festival last year that was what we were going to have to try to pull off. So there's probably more Rachel could say about the second stage and all that, but
yeah, I mean, Kyle, do you want to add anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, compared to last year, it's more artists than the festival has ever had.
Yeah.
The main stage, it has 13 artists. The second stage has 15 artists. There's a DJ. spinning vinyl all weekend. The festival's never had anything like
Yeah.
that. So it's just a constant wall of music all weekend, but it remains that destination festival that it has always been in Wheeling.
Hmm.
So it's Wheeling's largest music festival ever. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 25 states represented in the ticket buyers this year so far, and 83 zip codes.
Nice.
So it is this, a national festival.
Who's coming the furthest? Have you seen?
Yeah,
Who's
Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. Nice.
Yeah. So it's about as far away across the
Yeah,
country as you
right.
can possibly get. But so yeah, therein lies, the challenge. It's like we want to bring all these people in and they need a place to stay.
Right.
So we've partnered with like 6 or 7 hotels, and we're going to provide a hotel shuttle, like a legitimate, like multi-stop scheduled hotel shuttle for the first time
Hmm.
in a long time. And IC Cab is going to provide that.
Nice.
And they're sponsoring the festival. So ultimately, like the logistics of like having that many states represented is somewhat difficult. But like I think if we can create a seamless enough experience for those people, we'll have more the following year.
Yeah.
So yeah. The other the thing about the DJ, Kyle briefly mentioned that this is DJ Stealth.
DJ Stealth.
And he's in Pittsburgh. I met him through a local guy, Danny Padden.
Okay.
And also Will Wallace, who owned Clientele.
Okay.
And this gentleman has, I believe, a PhD in philosophy from Pitt.
Really?
He is like a dancer. And the first time I saw him DJing, I asked him what he was doing on his iPad, and he was grading SAT scores while he was setting up to DJ. So we have the most interesting DJ on the planet. I think he's going to be spinning actual records, and I'm sure there will be some obscure Motown.
He's going to be there all weekend doing that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's exciting too.
What act are you guys most excited for that's coming in?
Rach, go ahead.
St. Paul and the Broken Bones for me. They have a sweet horn line. They run Jimmy Kimmel this past summer, right?
Oh yeah.
And they've been around for a good bit, sort of soulful but still blues adjacent. And I just love a horn line, so I'm excited to see them.
JJ Gray is our Saturday night headliner, and he, if you look him up on YouTube, he's done a show at Red Rocks where there's some really, really some beautiful music there, and he sings songs about rivers and songs about nature, and I think that like if hopefully we get a beautiful day on Saturday night, because he's going to have that backdrop of a river that's 100,000 years old behind him.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And he's going to be singing songs about, the beauty of nature and that kind of thing, and great blues tunes. So like, I think that that's an interesting part of living here that we often take for granted is that, the river's been polluted for the last 100 years because of industry and what have you, but the river's been coming down through there on the exact path that it's on right now for 100,000 years.
Right.
And the pyramids are 5,000 years old, so it's more ancient than the pyramids are.
Oh yeah. This whole area,
and we dismiss it. And I'm on actually a press tour about the river itself right now.
Really?
Yeah.
The biodiversity here is crazy because you go anywhere else in the country, it's like you have 3 trees, three species of tree. That's it. You go here, there's hundreds if you go into the woods. Yeah. It's just because like we're the first ones that not survived the ice age, but kind of like started after everything was melting.
Yeah, I just think that it's easy for us to take it for granted. We look at it because we've got this multi-generational perspective on the fact that it might not be in the best condition, but really it's a beautiful, wonderful thing that created the city of Wheeling, that created settlements here.
Yeah, and everything south of us, because I mean everything had to be shipped south using that. Yeah,
there's a backstory about the river and Waterfront Hall as well, which used to be the Berry Supply Building. So in 1824, a guy named Charles Berry came down the Ohio River on a flatboat.
Okay,
and he came from Boston originally, and he got up into Wheeling, which was in its early days at this time, and knew how to tie rope. So he set up a rope walk outside and was tying rope out there. Eventually, like the business catches on. He's making rope for boats on the river. Ultimately, is successful and builds a building in Wheeling, to basically make this rope, and it's on the waterfront facing the river, and it's perfect location for it, and that's how the Berry Building was originally constructed. And that family then, after a while, they get pushed out of the rope business for one reason or another. They pivot to um, mill supplies and rubber goods, like during the steel mill explosion in the area. And then later, as that falls off, World War II happens, and the American dream is more possible for more people. And then they started a kitchen and bath supply business, the same family, 3 different iterations. So by the time that we showed up in 2018 to the building was for sale, that business, Berry Supply Incorporated, was 194 years old.
Wow.
It was the oldest business in Wheeling. And I think then Bronlex was after they closed. But yeah, so there's an amazing story, and it's all tied into the river and the landscape and all that stuff.
You find any artifacts as you went through?
Rachel thinks that the building is haunted, but
I don't think it's a
artifacts.
negative sort of haunted. I think there's a lot of history there. There's still some energy.
You can't tell me that the Capitol is not haunted, because I've worked so many production for the Broadway plays that used to go on there. So when it's like 5 a.m. before anybody gets there, and you're below the stage where the dressing rooms are, you hear all kinds of stuff. You can't tell me that place isn't haunted.
Ooh.
There was a few experiences when I was in there alone.
Yeah, everybody tells me a bathroom. You'll hear people talking in one of the bathrooms.
Yeah, up in the mezzanine. Yeah.
What's crazy is if you go up to the spot booth in the Capitol, if you look at the old spot lights they used to have, they ran on like diesel fuel. So the techs up there would be running this diesel engine spot in that little tiny booth, and I think they all had some sort of like lung cancer because of that. It's great now; it's electric now, but yeah, they had this one where you pull start it like a weed eater, and that's how you ran those things back in the day. And the walls are still black and everything. You can't tell me there's no ghosts in that place.
You really had to sell yourself to be like in the theater business like back in the day. So I'm sure like pretty much every theater has to be a little bit haunted.
The funnest part about working production at the Capitol is their bay doors are low still to handle the sound systems of the 60s and 70s, but now we have these great giant Bose speaker towers, and all the people, they come in, they look at it and think like, how do we get this in here? And it's just always like you have to lean it down, put it on rollers, get it in. It's always a chore. Who has been your favorite act from Outland, not just like the Bluesfest that you've brought in?
Outland, I think, going back to the local honeys, but on the festival this year, I'll say, some of the lower card acts, let me say, Dan and I started on this a year ago with over 200 artists, submissions that we were looking at. So it was a lot of artists that we were going through.
Yeah.
It was kind of heartbreaking to say goodbye to some of them that didn't make it onto the lineup.
Yeah.
Now, do you give due diligence to every act that sends you, or do you have to do every act? I was gonna say, or do you have to do like some sort of filter to?
Yeah,
that's
every
good.
act, looking at what they're selling in other places, what their social media statistics are. It's a lot of research. But artists like Judith Hill, who's playing before JJ Gray Mofro that Dan mentioned, she was a collaborator and girlfriend of Prince before he passed away, collaborator with Michael Jackson, has won multiple awards, has never been to the festival, and it's just absolutely phenomenal, really exciting. And I'll throw another one out is Sonny Landreth, who hasn't been to the festival in years. And Sonny Landreth is a frequent collaborator with Eric Clapton. Just got announced again. He's been to every Eric Clapton's Crossroads festival. Eric Clapton says he's one of the most technically proficient guitarists of all time. You watch him play, he's doing like 4 or 5 things at once while he's playing. He's just amazing to watch. So any guitarist will love Sonny Landreth.
Anders Osborne on Friday is Louisiana's poet laureate. He's won that once for sure, maybe twice. He's been named poet laureate in Louisiana. And then one other note about Judith Hill, there was a documentary called 10 Feet from Stardom on Netflix, I think it was, and she was featured in that doc as well. Yeah. So yeah, this is Kyle did an amazing job, and I mean, he kind of led me through the process because I was, this was my first go round, but he's got 20 years experience. I mean, he's worked at Jamboree. He's done, as we said, the West Banco and Capitol Theater thing, and so if we didn't have Kyle, we would be in a much different position right now. So
I'll throw one more out before we move on, but an artist like Luther Dickinson, who has, I think, 11 Grammy nominations, was a member of the Black Crowes, founding member of North Mississippi All Stars, has never been to the festival, who's coming with J.D. Simo this year, who collaborates with Chris Isaac and Beyonce and a lot of other artists. So seeing those two as a force together is going to be really neat.
Yeah, and then Eddie 9 Volt on Sunday he's signed with Dan Auerbach of the Black Keys, his record label, and I think he's opening for them in Pittsburgh, just after or just before us. Yeah, so yeah, it's a lot of it is blues on the main stage, but there's some blues soul stuff, there's some blues rock stuff, even blues country stuff.
I know Ezra's on second stage too. I was been working with him, and I think too, for people that want to get tickets, I think like you can use artist codes, right, to get things like 10% off or something like that. Yeah, if somebody needs tickets still, you can look at the local artists, and they almost all of them that are performing there have their own codes that you can go on, and I think it's 10% off, something like that.
$10 off.
Oh, $10. Okay,
off any ticket, single day, 3-day.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The stage that Ezra's performing on is the YNST stage. So we worked the deal out with them, and Adam Payne and the board from YNST. So that wonderful magazine they put together the last couple years, they'll be represented, physically at the festival. They're decorating our stage. They're putting a set design together for that. They're doing one of our tents. And then Spencer Porter from Esoterica and many other endeavors. We've engaged her about putting together kind of a clubbier, sexier VIP tent.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
So the meeting's tomorrow. We'll see what she comes up with. I got a lot of faith in her.
Yeah.
But Spencer's awesome. And what we're trying to do is pull the whole community into this festival, pull more young people, and all of it. There's so much talent. And I think people have felt in the past, not necessarily at the Blues Festival, but just in general, that there's been walls up around certain community events and just, in the business community. And I see slowly like people coming to the realization that like all they have to do is stick their nose in there and ask and just start making something happen, And, Spencer's maybe one of the best examples.
The shaker and mover of like the community. And then I can see the challenge in where like you have to appeal to the traditional blues fest goers, because I know that I think when they did the wine fest the last time in Wheeling or something, it's like it didn't. If there was a festival that hasn't been there for a couple of years, it didn't matter how nice you made it. If it didn't match exactly the way it was a couple of years ago, somebody's going to complain. So I can see where there lies that little almost like little competition of how much can we put in for the progressiveness of this event, but how much can we bring in the tradition people, or the people that know blues fest. And
to your point, one example that we point to as the model for how to achieve this thing that seems difficult to achieve is the New Orleans Jazz Festival.
Okay.
So the New Orleans Jazz Festival is a jazz festival, and it's a culinary festival, and it's wonderful in every respect. And I haven't got to go yet. I wanted to go this year, but like everything you read about it, like they've got this wonderful cultural event. The headliners at this event this year were not necessarily jazz artists. They were Stevie Nicks, they were David Byrne, they were the Eagles. So there's a model here for how we could approach this festival. It's like, it could remain a blues festival at heart. There could be blues elements of it, because as Kyle will tell you, blues is basically the original sound, and then there's almost all the genres we love are derivative of the blues.
Yep.
So I think there's models out there that we can look to.
Yeah, because you're trying to show this younger audience, this concert goer audience, like what is blues. Because I could see like people like 10 years younger than me, like blues that's like an old person like Diddy, like A to E to B Diddy, but they don't get like all these subgenres, like these hybrid genres that you guys are bringing in that kind of appeals to everybody.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, there's we even have Black Mountain Gothic music presented at this festival. Nice. Yeah. So that's Clover Lynn. We had her at the building. That was a Logan Schmidt show.
A couple months ago.
And loved her, and she stands up there with the banjo.
What day is she on?
She's on Friday night.
I was gonna say, you guys have your acts really spread out nicely. There isn't like a day where you're like, okay, let's just go Saturday. That's where all the main ones are. I mean, like it's from Friday to the end of Sunday. It seems like you have it all.
That's by design.
Yeah.
Yeah. trying to get people to have an actual festival experience, you know,
Yeah.
trying to have them come for all 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So what's the next move? What is that how are you of the mind is like you wait till this event's done before you do the next one, or are you already thinking like what the next event or like what the next concert is?
Yeah, see if you got to file bankruptcy or what's
Right.
next, you know? That's the thing. It's like there's a big financial commitment on the front end. This is gambling.
It is, yeah.
Kyle often sends me gifts in our text messages of roulette wheel spinning. And
yeah.
You know, like because that's what this is ultimately. Is we're all taking a big gamble. Everybody's here because they love it, but you know, we're all just like patiently, not impatiently, waiting to see if this actually works or not.
Yeah.
Now we're trying to do everything possible every hour of every day to sell more tickets and all that.
Right.
But we'll know August 11th if this how this is going to go and in years to follow. But I think we can say for sure is it would be wrong of us not to commit to a second year.
Right.
Because what's all this for? We're going to collect beautiful photography, videography. We're going to be able to market this festival in such a way that is easier. All this intellectual property that we have now that we didn't have when we started, it's going to make the festival easier to run. So it's like, it would be a disservice to ourselves not to try again.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And it shows everybody across the country and the people across the country you're selling tickets to that Wheeling logistically can handle something like an undertaking like this to get people in. Like you said, like being able to not house, but like the hotels to have people stay and every aspect of that. And then it's such an undertaking people to understand when you go from a venue to a festival, because I know a few friends are like, I'm going to make the next Jamboree, but then they're like, oh, so I have to pay how many city workers? I have to pay them overtime. I need how many dumpsters? I need how many security? I need these gates. And it just,
signs,
right.
Yeah. Production, everything.
We got help from Wine and Beverage in Weirton. We got help from West Banco, Project Best. We got help from Bridgeport Equipment, City of Wheeling, Ohio County CVB. And it's like you have to go and you have to say, here's our vision.
Yeah.
We hope you like it. Is there any way that you can support us in this endeavor? And so without the community support that was provided by all those orgs, and there's more that I left out, it would not be possible.
Yeah.
Because here again, like just like the venue aspect of it, music, with the exception of the artists who make it, music is more of and you know this better than anybody, for a love of the game kind of thing. Than anything else.
Especially around here, if you want to stick to your originals and stick to your style, I mean, it is for the love of the game.
Yep.
So what is the last like band in-house you guys having that you're most excited for?
Who do you have coming up, Kyle?
Well, you mentioned East Nash Grass on July 10th. We have Selwyn Birchwood in October. No, I'm sorry, September. Selwyn has played the Heritage Music Bluesfest several times, is a multiple Blues Music Award winner, and just a phenomenal guitar player. So really looking forward to that as well.
In a sense, I mean, Waterfront Hall the tide has went out. So we can focus on the festival, and then the tide will rush back in after we get this thing done. And I think that was just a move of self-preservation.
We do have something cool coming up next weekend as well, which will be July 17th. We have our Summer Ween show, which is presented by Casket Candy. They pretty much organize the whole thing. We're lucky enough that they, do it at our building. But Summer Ween is awesome. It gives you a chance to celebrate Halloween and dress up, wear your costume or whatever, wear something you can't normally wear in the fall, maybe. And let's see, we also have...
We're doing a couple cool in-house things right now too. We're doing this thing called PowerPoint Wars.
I've seen previews for that or promos for that.
There's been 2 huge crowds for that, and it's like 6 or 7 people, and Morgan plays a big role in this. She's here today, but she could talk more about it than I could. But there's 6 or 7 people that present. The presentations are no longer than 10 minutes, and it's like they're hot takes basically.
Yeah, really open ended.
So like Lucas Skelly, I don't know if you've come across him, but he comes to jam night all the time. And stuff. He's got a lot of hobbies. He's a part-time meteorologist and many things. But his presentation was what's that smell? And it was all about Wheeling's sewer.
Yeah.
And then the very next presentation was our Kit Foster, who closed the evening, and it was a presentation about Lucas Skelly.
All right.
And so like there were and then I think pigeons and how we should treat pigeons as sacred. That was another one. But ultimately, it's a way for people to take their niche interests, present them, and then have people come on board with those ideas, interests, and viewpoints. I love that.
Yeah, I did too. I've never really been into Taylor Swift. I don't really care much about her. I'll just say honestly. But the last time we had someone present all about like the Taylor Swift drama, I was all ears. I was paying attention. I said, "Oh, that's some tea. What?" So I cared. For that 10 minutes.
I think that stuff kind of that's the kind of formula that kind of can set us apart.
Yeah.
We have people that are so committed to what we're trying to accomplish, and it's these in-house ideas, like almost the playing, that actually is something that I think we should probably lean heavier into. We did a dating show about 1.5 years ago, and it was nerve-wracking.
I was going to say, how'd that go?
Oh my God. John Russell and Morgan Hamilton hosted it. And it took a lot of effort, but ultimately it led to 3 couples getting matched up on stage. And then I think one of the 3 actually worked out for a couple dates.
What was it, like a blind date thing, or it's like a speed dating, or did you pop the balloon?
We had basically a room divider on stage, and we had the person reading off questions. Who was like picking between 3 people on the other side of the.
I gotcha.
So there's a dating show or games. So ultimately they were hosts that were kind of walking everybody through it, and so at the end they picked their number 1, 2, or 3, and we told them if anybody got married, they were going to drink for free at Waterfront Hall for life.
Nice.
But that didn't happen. So, and odds were it wasn't going to happen. But no, that stuff for us, like, our goal is to lean into that, I think, over the next 12, 18 months. But
it really makes people forget that they're a patron somewhere. It just feels like, you're just at like a meeting house. Or what I wanted to ask you guys is wood fire's out, right? You have Thai plates coming in?
Yeah.
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
We're very excited about that. Crying Tiger.
Crying Tiger, okay.
So it's 2 cousins, Tat and Paul, and then their families. And these 2 cousins grew up in Thailand. And at age 15, their families both decided to move them to the States. So Tat came to Wheeling with his family, who he's a part of the family that started Golden Chopsticks.
Okay.
And then Paul went to Los Angeles, where he is in a family of chefs there. So they obviously stay in touch and continue to, dream and iterate on what they might like to do together someday. And I think they're around early 30s now.
Okay.
And so we had a Thai dinner, just a special dinner and then we sold tickets for it on the 3rd floor about 1 year ago. And it was a hit.
Wasn't.
And ultimately, like, they came up to my house and cooked for some of the staff, and like food is delicious.
Yeah.
So when we were moving through the process of trying to fill the vacant space there that Wood Fire Pizza left, like, they were on all of our minds.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, these 2 gentlemen are moving in the beginning of August, and menu's fire. It's I think it's going to really blow.
What do you
people
recommend
away.
For somebody who's never had Thai food?
Oh, Pad Thai is a go-to for most people. But they're going to do some really cool, like, steak and chicken stuff. And the dipping sauces that they're going to provide. And, like, it's just, I'm excited about it. But what we're trying to get through right now is the permitting, the grease traps, the health department, and making space for them and doing a little bit of construction. So in the month of August, I would say, we'll have Thai food in Wheeling.
Yeah, I could imagine, like, health-wise, like going from wood fire, where it's just that one method. You're gonna have fryers now. You're gonna have all the stuff. But I gotcha.
Definitely.
One last thing before we end the episode, what's Company Caravan up to? How was that show on the island? I was thinking about you guys when
that was so hot.
I was going to say it was stinging to be outside that day.
It was really, really hot that day. I had 2 mango carts and they were so delicious and so refreshing, but then afterwards I was like, man, I think that probably dehydrated me more because that's what
it definitely
does.
did.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I had such a headache afterwards. But we're very lucky to be getting some sweet gigs this summer. We played at this campground out in Cameron. We played at the Backyard Barbecue Festival. That was cool. And then we will be playing a Waterfront Wednesday on July 29th. And then we're closing Bluesfest on Sunday.
Nice.
I want to say 5:45 is our time slot, but I could be wrong. I have to look at Kyle because I feel like he just knows the schedule in his head. But I did want to mention, because you brought up the second stage coupon codes. If you want to save $10 off your ticket, you can put in code Mystic Mama. All caps, Mystic Mama, and that will save you $10 off any ticket, and that's our Company Caravan coupon code.
You said Sunday you're closing?
Yes, and we're closing the second stage on Sunday.
Okay, and that's pretty late too. I was assuming that it was going to be done at like noon or 1 when I was thinking of the festival. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Partying all Sunday,
nice.
Sunday fun day, yeah.
Yeah, we thought Company Caravan would keep people around.
Yeah.
So we actually had a going away set of shows 2 nights at Waterfront Hall for Caden, the lead singer, Caden Board, and she decided not to leave.
Oh, really?
So I think, well, as a family, they decided not to leave yet. So
I gotcha.
Basically, I think the shows that we had and the love that we showed forced her to stay.
Really?
which we were happy about.
Nice. Did Jacob break his guitar?
He did break his guitar.
I saw it, yeah.
That was at the Pap Club. Yeah, he
the Gibson, right?
Yeah, it's like one of those, sometimes you hear a sound and it just like rattles your bones.
Yeah.
And I turned around and his guitar was laying on the laying face down on the ground, and it just kind of snapped the neck off the top, like the very top of the headstock, I guess, right before where the tuners, where the nut is, I guess. But it's currently getting repaired, the poor thing, but that was sad for all of us. Never want to see that happen.
It'll come back better than ever. You said you're doing a Waterfront Wednesday?
Yes.
Nice.
July 29th.
Nice. Mm-hmm. July 29th, and then they'll be closing out, it'll be the 9th, right? August 9th. That'll be the Sunday of Bluesfest, yeah. Mm-hmm. So when does it all kick off on the 7th?
Kicks off at
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock on Friday.
The 7th.
Gates at 3:30 for GA, 2 p.m. for VIP and canopy spots.
I think Christina Vane is our first act. Is that correct?
Christina Vane's kicking it off. Mm-hmm. She's a great Americana blues hybrid, born in Italy, traveled throughout Europe and the Alps before coming to the United States. She's going to be a lot of fun, and her first Bluesfest as well.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in.
Thank you, man.
Thank you,
have, as I fade out this episode, I have one question left. We briefly discussed it. Is Guitar Zach on the ban list for Bluesfest? I know you guys weren't in charge when he pulled his stunt last year, so is he?
We would have to ask Homeland Security. I'd be happy to have him back, but I know he crossed a few borders with them.
Did you know that there was such strict regulations on going onto a cruise ship like that?
I didn't know till Tim told me, who used to work on a cruise ship. He's like, you don't understand. Those guys are like actual police and all this stuff. Yeah, he said that it's like the marshals have to, that's their jurisdiction. And he said when he hopped on that boat, you have to understand their job is to the immediate reaction to get him off. I was like, are you serious?
They threw him off. Yeah. They pulled him by his guitar and threw him off the walkway. Yeah.
It's views, baby. It's keep it up in the air.
I loved him.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. TST 104 Bluesfest, August 7th to the 9th. What was the code? Mystic Mama?
Mystic Mama.
Get you $10 off of any single day, 3-day, weekend pass, whatever you want to. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.